Hi grade 10s and welcome to this blended learning lesson. Today's lesson is looking at the electromagnetic spectrum. Is light a particle or is light a wave? This session will answer that question for you. Is light a wave or a particle? It's part of the electromagnetic spectrum and that's what we're learning about today. So for this lesson, the things you should be able to do, if you are given a list of the different types of EM radiation, you must be able to arrange them in order of frequency or wavelength. Given the wavelength or frequency, you must be able to calculate the other value from the wave equation. You must give an example of the use of each type of EM radiation. You must be able to indicate their penetrating ability and relate this to their energy. Therefore, we will be calculating the energy of a photon, and you must be able to discuss the duality of the wave nature and particle nature of light. So, let's look at the lesson schedule for this lesson. Probably 10 minutes for the diagnostic questions, 15 minutes for the video tutorial, one video, but I'm giving you time to rewatch it and take notes. The textbook engagement I've broken down into different parts in the study guide, but you'll need about 20 minutes to do this. And then I'd like you to read before the contact session the sections that you did not make a summary of. Then you'll watch me explain and we'll do some textbook practice. Now, remember that pause button, pause and do the activities. All the textbook activities are from Siavula, Everything Science Grade 10, and the video tutorials are on YouTube. So for this lesson, you will probably need about 100 minutes from the diagnostic to the textbook practice as the last post-lesson activity. For this lesson, make sure you have the following: a notebook, a pen to write in. You will need a calculator for the calculations, highlighters, especially for the summary, a quiet place to work in. Okay, grade 10s. For those of you that are on ClickUp, I'm going to show you where you can find the diagnostic test for this lesson. Grade 10s, so here is the grade 10 course. You need to click on Term 2 and find this Saturday's session. And there it is listed for you. It tells you everything that will be available in this folder. So please click on this week's session, and there you will see is the diagnostic test. Click on the diagnostic test, read the instructions, click on begin, and it will take you to the first question. So answer the first question, make sure you save your answer, and then move on. So let's now check the answers of the 10 questions you were asked to answer for the diagnostic. I will provide you with the answers. Please check to see how many you got correct. So grade 10s, how many questions did you get correct? Did you get them all correct? Can you remember the different types of electromagnetic radiation? Today's lesson aims at helping you understand the difference between the frequency and wavelength of the different parts of the electromagnetic spectrum. You will also see in today's session that scientists are not quite sure whether light is a particle or a wave, because it behaves in some instances like a wave, and in other instances it behaves like a particle. In fact, Planck was the one who described electromagnetic radiation in terms of packages of energy, which he called photons. So as you can see, there are some areas in science where scientists are not quite sure, and there are some phenomena that just don't fit into one box. And light is one of them. It definitely does behave like a wave because of interference patterns, but then only a particle can knock electrons out of a metal, as in the photoelectric effect. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about science, is that there are still questions unanswered. There are still questions that need to be answered, and there are still some things that are not fully understood. So grade 10s, as with the last lesson video, I will work through the pre-lesson activities with you so you know what is expected. The first pre-lesson activity is a video tutorial. So I'd like you to click onto YouTube, follow the link from the study guide, and watch the video. Remember, as you watch the video, you might want to take a few notes. Pre-lesson activity 1, video tutorial. You will find this video on YouTube. It is from the Lessix channel, The Physics Behind Engineering, and the aim is to learn engineering through physics. This video is about electromagnetic radiation. The title, Understanding Electromagnetic Radiation, can be found at the link that is here on the study guide. In the modern world, we humans are completely surrounded by electromagnetic radiation. That is how the video is introduced. And yes, it's true. So you might want to know what the physics behind these waves are, and this video will tell you all about that. Pause the video now. Pre-lesson activity 2 is from the textbook Everything Science from Siavula. This is textbook engagement. Remember, to access the textbook online, go to Google, type in Siavula grade 10, click on that link and it will take you to the online textbook. Scroll down to the chapter that you're looking for. In this case, it is chapter 11, and click on the section that you want to read. You can then use the next button to move to the next section in the textbook. Let's just go back to the study guide grade 10s. You will see there that there are 3 bullet points in the study guide. 1, to read through sections 11.1 and 11.2, then to read through section 11.5, and then to create a summary by listing the concepts. So I want you to treat these 3 bullet points as a single activity. So I'm going to group them together. So firstly, for the first part, to understand the wave nature of light, I would like you to read through sections 11.1 and 11.2 on the textbook. Or should I say in the textbook. So this will give you an understanding on the wave-like nature of electromagnetic radiation. When you have done that, I would like you to skip all the way through to section 11.5 in the textbook. Now I'd like you to go to section 11.5. In this section, you will read about the particle-like nature of electromagnetic radiation. So first read through sections 11.1 and 11.2 and make notes about the wave nature of light or of electromagnetic radiation, and then read through sections 11.5 and make notes about the particle-like nature of light. When you have done that, I want you to summarize what you have read by creating a list of concepts that highlight the two different natures of electromagnetic radiation. You will need to bring these to the contact session on Saturday. Right, grade 10s, just a note. When I talk about light sometimes, I'm actually referring to the entire electromagnetic spectrum. The electromagnetic spectrum consists of radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays. Visible light is what we can see. So when I talk about light or the dual nature of light, all electromagnetic rays or waves have this dual nature of particle-like, wave-like. Visible light is the only part of the electromagnetic spectrum that we as humans can observe. And it consists of 7 colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Pause the video now. For the third and final pre-lesson activity, you will also be reading through sections of the textbook, but I'm calling this Read to Prepare for Class. It is always a good idea to read through parts of the textbook before you attend class. Here I'd like you to read through sections 11.3 and 11.4. You can jot down any questions you might want answered during the contact time. This is always a good way to prepare. You might want to use the SQ3R reading method that I showed you in the last video. Remember, the S stands for survey, the Q stands for questions, and this is where you should jot down a list of questions you might want to ask in class. And then remember, the first R is to read actively, and that's all I really want you to do now. The second R is to recite, so you might want to jot down some notes, but that you can do when you review the lesson. And the third R is for revise. I just want you to make sure that you've read through the section that I'm going to be dealing with in the contact session. Pause the video now. Well, grade 10s, that is now the end of this video for the pre-lesson activities. I will see you on Saturday if you are part of the UP program. If not, I hope that you found this video informative and that the blended learning activities can help you or are helping you to study this section of work. So until next time, thanks for joining this opinionated science educator.